So guys, welcome to attempt number 2 as showcasing the new update for our One Piece Treasure Cruise. This is the home screen, as you all might know by now, I think. And you can't see me clicking, but you have the friend menu in the top right. Down there is the mail menu, which lets you access, of course, the mails. Then the notifications, then farther down you have the resource island. You can access it from there or either the Pirate Festival, and that's the same. So let's go through this area first of all. As you can see, there's many locked places right now. Those are called facilities, I have read. And each of them actually lets you have new stuff. So for example, clicking on this one with the meat, this will give you one additional point of stamina, I guess. No, sorry, this will give you some points of stamina. I don't know if it's a refill, a total refill, but let me see. At level 35, which is max, you would refill one stamina, I guess, every 20 hours. That's not entirely clear to me. So for each of these, let's see it via the berry cave. This is the berry cave, by the way, and the gold button on the right is the one that lets you get berry. So you don't have to wait the full time, the full 8 hours, I guess, to get the 500 berries, 500,000 berries. You can also get these 100 right now, so I'm gonna do that for the sake of you knowing. Yeah, you see, and it works. And the left button is a power-up button. So if you have enough tickets to do the power-up, and also if your grade in the PvP ranking is high enough, we'll see that in a while, you can actually power up a facility. In this case, the stamina one actually lowers the time you have to wait to 94 hours. The max is 20 hours as we saw, so it's once a day. And there's many of those. So this one is for gems, and it takes quite a long time right now. But yeah, the max for that is 20 hours too. This one raises your max stamina by 1 point. And you will also have 2 more buttons. This one lets you have an overview of the active facilities. And you can also click to have infos with the levels, the grades needed, etc. And power up your facility. Oh, by the way, this with the dugong is a facility that will let you take evolvers, that will let you gather evolvers and boosters, like turtles, penguins, or even crabs. This is it, I guess, for now. It's pretty much self-explanatory. So the gray button here, the disabled button, will let you gather all resources at once, instead of having to like run through all your facilities. You just click that button, and everything that's available right now you would get. You have a count of the tickets on the bottom left corner, and on the top right you have a button that directs you to the Pirate Festival area. So I'm not gonna run through a fight, actually. That wouldn't take long, I guess, because it's all automatic. But yeah, I won't run through a fight. Just know this: the biggest button in here is the one that lets you play against other players. Once your stamina is depleted, you can also refill that with 1 gem. Not sure you would want to do that, but yeah, if you want to do that, that's how you do. Under the button we have a PvE button, so in this case you would fight CPU controlled enemies, although the PvP is also controlled by the CPU in a sense. But yeah, this is the PvE part, the PvE section. As you can see, you would fight random enemies, and on the left corner of each enemy you have an icon, you see, this one. So every time you complete one of these, you would unlock a facility for the resource island, of course at the lowest level possible. You also have to complete, I guess, 3 or 4 of those, if I remember correctly. So once you defeat the Baroque Works, you actually unlock the PvP section. It's not available at first. You also have a crew button. Via this one you can set your crews. By pressing it, 2 more buttons appear. The first one in the sword is the one that lets you set attacking versions of your team, actually, and the one with the shield is of course one of our defense teams. But yeah, that's not really so impactful, I guess. I haven't played much with the PvP right now, so I don't know actually how that works. I just know that if you I'm browsing through my crews, sorry, just to not change them. So I just know if you press the orange button here, the crew would be set automatically. You see, the game is working, and it actually changed only one character, but yeah, that's what it does. It chooses a crew for you instead of you doing that manually. The other 2 buttons, the right one just lets you change position of your crew members, while the center one is a select all. So if you just clear with the left button here, with the bottom left button, you can then select all your within all your characters. I think I might have a filter on or off. Yeah, exactly. So this is important. I highly suggest you take off this filter, which is another filter. Let's get there gradually. This is the filter section, you already know that. If you go on the left tab and scroll down to the bottom, you have a new section, and also one new button, which is this one, which sorts your characters, putting first the ones who have a super type, which we'll discuss later. So let's get back to this one, and the bottom section, which is new, has a fighting power filter, a cost filter, and a boosted filter, which sorts characters by effect boosts, like you do with TM with this button here. In the right tab instead, we have a brand new section, which is the one for styles. I think by default this is set to all filters, but again I suggest you do this because if you leave that on, you can see all your characters. I think there's also other filters on, or maybe not. Yeah. So I was saying, if you leave that on, you can see all characters, which is not really good because as you can see, not everybody has a red icon. So the ones with red icons, like for example Zoro Sanji, are the ones that actually have abilities for the PvP. While if you would click on, for example, Garp Sengoku, you see they don't have abilities. So be really careful and remember that only the ones with red icons on the right are the ones that have PvP abilities. Or you can either just turn off this icon here, and here you go, you would only see the ones with abilities you can use. So let me put up a random team. I can let him do that for me, actually. Okay, this is all set up. So a couple of other things. This button here with the wheel lets you see the stats of your characters, lets you browse the stats, while the 2 fields up from that, respectively, the one with the sword is the total combat power, and the one below that is the total cost of the crew. So watch out for the cost. Now let's move on to actually the super type. Oh, also there's rule sets for the seasons. So basically every time a season changes, preliminary A, preliminary B, C, and then finals exhibition, the rule set will change. So right now if you use free spirit characters, those would get 1 tier HP boost. Yeah, 1 tier HP boost, and if there are 30 seconds or less left to the end of the match, they will also get an attack boost, and their CT, which is cost of team, I don't remember actually the name, but yeah, the CT will recharge faster. And then super typings. The only one actually that has a super typing right now is this Luffy, which you get via the Chopperman missions. Anyway, I'll show that later. And you can, I'd say, easily recognize them since there's that icon glowing, which represents the super typing. So we click on Luffy, and if I can click on him, I'm back. So, technical difficulties aside, this is new Luffy. He has a limit break, of course. He has a support ability, and that's something I don't get actually, since you only get one copy for him, and I don't know how to farm the other one, so I guess you would have to use medals and the tablets for the limit break. But, as I was saying, you can recognize him via this glowing icon, and if you click on the red button, you have first of all the condition for activating his, for triggering his super typing, which is having at least one of the other Straw Hat crew members in your crew. When you use that, which is basically a captain ability, so remember this, you have to use Luffy as captain. And once you do that, if you have one of the other crew members, you can then swipe down, and then it automatically triggers. You can trigger that whenever you want and it stays on. So when you trigger that, he would use a powered up version of his special, which apart from doing what his special actually does, also changes those dots to matching, not block orbs though, and super types every side character in your crew, which works pretty well with the new batch, with the new Straw Hat batch, because they're all side. And yeah, so he's the only one having this ability, so let's see how this is going to be implemented in the future. So before ending the video, I want to show you something last. Yeah, first of all, the menus didn't change that much, so the bottom left is still the adventure button. It's identical to how it was before. Next to that one is the crew button, which lets you do anything you could do before. The only thing that actually changes is that when you select a character, oops, not like this. When you select a character for a power-up, from his screen you also have a new button here, which lets you power up his Pirate Fest abilities. So if you click on that, you would see filtered out the flags, the new power-up items. What I really wanted to show you is in the extra island, because the Straw Hats, the new crew, you can get half of them via the new Chopperman missions, which I will post in the description, a link to a Google file I wrote. There's much less than there were before actually, and they're not that hard to complete, they're not that time consuming, so you can do that in a couple hours maybe. In the extra island though, you would have flag adventure right here in the first tab. I don't have that since I cleared that. I think you have 5 clears of that. And in the second tab from left, you can find the Straw Hats, the new Straw Hats, which would drop, which contains 2 adventures. First of all, the first one drops these 4 characters, while the second one drops skill books for every character in the batch, if we can call it a batch. Also, the adventures for beginners have been reorganized, and now you can see at a glance which colors and which classes are in. Keep that in mind because you will need that for the Chopperman missions, for the Chopperman requests. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So less things. The saloon, you can still see that since it glows. The middle button is the home screen. And with this one, I think we can close the walkthrough. That's pretty much all there is to know, or at least the basic knowledge. So let me know if you have any other question, and I'll see you guys in the comments. Oh, there is actually one last thing I want to show you guys that I just found out. So the new scrolls, they're actually scrolls, not flags. These work quite different from the rest of the materials. So yeah, they still give experience based on the type of the character. You see, this one gives 300 to my Luffy because they're not red, but the green one would give 450 experience, and that's Pirate Fest experience. That's how it's called. So if you use this to power up a character, it would actually go on ahead and open up a new pop-up. Let's see that. here we are. So in this pop-up you can actually assign yourself the experience you want to use. The first one is the skill, is the special, sorry, for the Pirate Fest, and the second one is the skill. You yourself can choose which one of the two power up, but once you get to the screen, of course, you can't go back. You use the experience. So just choose one, go on ahead, and yeah, you're done. Okay, this is it, guys. See you in the next time.